Hey, I'm Alone Flavor, and today I'm going to teach you a technique on how to draw light sources. Or, well, it's not really a technique, but rather a base principle of how light works. It's a pretty basic principle, really, many artists use it, and to begin, we need to create a canvas, of course. Then, since we are going to create a light source, to make it properly visible, we need to fill the canvas in with a darker shade. Create a new layer, pick white color, and place a solid stroke. It shouldn't necessarily be perfectly round like mine, just any shape will do. Then change the layer preference to Add Glow and duplicate it. Then Gaussian blur the copy. Choose a reasonably high value. It doesn't really look like a light source yet. The outline of the stroke is still way too solid, so duplicate the original layer with the stroke once again, and Gaussian blur it too, but choose a substantially smaller value. Now we've created an intermediate ray layer. It helps to unify the object with the light it emits. And if you're going after a striking, strong light source, duplicate the original layer once again and Gaussian blur to the max. Well, our basic light source is basically ready, but it looks kinda bland when it's all white, right? Now let's try to color it properly. There's a rule in color theory that the farther the light goes from the light source, the farther its color goes into the gamut. With this in mind, pick a nice bright yellow shade and color your first intermediate array layer with it. Then pick an orange shade and color your second intermediate layer, and turn the third layer, the rays of which go the farthest, into red. This does look nice, but once we've colored everything, you can see that the layers have become somewhat more transparent. The farther the shades on such layers are from white, the less visible they are. So to fix our uniformity again, we need to duplicate the original layer with the stroke, and, that's right, we need to Gaussian blur it again. Just a little bit. And keep it white, of course. And now you have the power of the sun in the palm of your hand. Yep, that's the trick. And here are multiple examples of how I use the same technique in my own artworks. Follow me on Twitter via the link in the description if you want to see more of them. And here are some notes I'd like to discuss. Some people prefer to use color dodge as the main layer preference for such light sources, but I find Add Glow way more striking. You can still use color dodge, of course, but I prefer using it for bounce lighting, when rays from the sun or any other light source have already reached an object and bounced its rays back onto another object. This is called bounce lighting. But for light sources themselves, and possibly when bounce lighting comes from a highly reflective object, I recommend using Add Glow. Another thing is, you don't really have to use Gaussian blur all the time. You can use airbrushes or basically any other soft brush to imitate the same effect. Especially in cases when you can't really use Gaussian blur all the time, because, for example, the body of your light source is on separate layers or it's so complicated you cannot really blur out of it. So yeah, just pick an airbrush, create new layers and follow the same principle I taught you. And of course you can experiment with different shades, multiple light sources and various shapes of the body of your light source. Your subscription and the bell button would help me a lot, especially if you want more of such Clip Studio guides from me. Thank you for your time!